Welcome, 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 CTV viewers. It is Friday night. It is 8:30. I am not your wonderful host, Wayne, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Garth, but I am Dave the drummer. I'm a local drummer here in the Santa Cruz area. I've lived here for about 8 years now. I am a UCSC graduate, and so I came here to be a slug, and through that, I spent a lot of time doing open mics and eventually warming up to playing drums and sort of taking up my inheritance as a drummer with a family background. I started playing in different bands since around 2011 with different friends and jam bands and whatnot. And about like 2012, I formed my first band and kind of has been rolling ever since. So I'll tell you a little bit about the show that you're about to see right now. Is we have a YouTube show that we have interviewed local drummers to the Santa Cruz area, and we have put together a special compilation episode for you. We're new to this ourselves, but we wanted to share this with the community because the show is all about community. It's about local music. It's about local drummers. It's about guys that you have probably run into once or twice, or you've probably seen them, or you know them. You just don't know it yet. And so we want to start off with the very first interview we did with Angelo Francisco Rodriguez from 12 to Midnight, now with the Rolling Brownouts. So let's get over to that first interview. We're here at JVQAV, at the JVQAV stage. We are having the very first episode of the Talking Drum. It's a new segment for my YouTube channel. And we're here today to talk with Angelo, my buddy from 12 to Midnight. It's a band that he's been playing with for about, how long would you say you've been with him for?
I've been here playing with the current setup for about 2 years.
Cool, cool.
Right after my 30th birthday, we got back together.
Oh, right on. That's cool. That's some pretty good timing right there.
Yeah.
And you guys have a show coming up, like this weekend, right?
We have a show coming up this weekend. That's Saturday the 23rd.
Yeah. Blue Lagoon? Blue Lagoon, cool.
Okay, yeah. Homebrew.
Okay, playing with Homebrew, yeah. I've been working with promoting shows with the Blue Lagoon the last couple of weeks, and it's really cool. I get to go check out different shows. Got to go see you guys last week with Arrows, another band I'm kind of buddies with, and I'm having a really good time. Just getting to integrate into the music community. And here in Santa Cruz, there's a lot of cool cats here that I don't think I would have met if I didn't try to get involved musically with them. Just promoting, playing shows, or just playing out, hanging out, just having a good time. First question is, how long have you been playing drums?
I've been playing the drums since I was 12 years old. Started in 6th grade concert band.
Oh, okay.
I played the snare drum.
Right on.
And I graduated to set when I was probably 14.
Okay.
And then got a little set put in the garage and been playing ever since.
Right on. That's cool. Who is your drum maker, or who is the brand that you use these days?
I use PDP drums. I had a little jazz kit for a long time, but when I started playing rock and roll drums, I just couldn't get enough volume out of them.
Right.
So a buddy of mine sold me his old PDP kit.
Right.
I think it was like $400 for the shells and everything, and it has been performing. I've had that for probably 10 years.
Do you have any preferred drumstick sizes? I know a lot of guys, they have a stick that they really kind of have their heart set. My buddy Naka, who plays with Mark London and the Super Greens, and he's just overall awesome, cool guy. He got me onto A7s, and I've just gotten really comfortable using A7s. Shout out to Naka. But you have a stick that you're really big into?
Yeah. I also use 7As. I usually try to use Vaders because they're a little bit longer, and so I don't hit the rim of the snare drum on my knuckles quite as often. But they're harder to find for some reason these days. Yeah, they're getting harder and harder to find, at least in Santa Cruz. You go to San Jose, it's a little bit easier, but you got like a bigger, game. You got guys like Guitar Center and then Tap Tempo that are just like, they really want to stay on top of it. They're like the crowd pleasers of the area, if you will. Yeah. The third question is, what do you see as being like, as a drummer, what would you say is the coolest facet of being a drummer, in a band, and just kind of like give it their shot and kind of just get in there. But we're a type of people that it gives us a certain feeling. But
though? Like, what is it? What is it for you? Like, what is it? How does it make you feel?
I don't know. Playing drums is the easiest thing I can do. It's just I've been walking and breathing longer than I've been playing the drums, and that's really it. There's nothing else I can say that I've been doing for that long.
Yeah.
So if I play the guitar, play the piano, it's more difficult. But when I get behind a drum kit, I just feel like it just feels natural. Everything just kind of flows out pretty easily.
Okay.
And it's good stress relief, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah, it is a lot of fun. It is a very good stress reliever. Side. So, do you have a pet, or do you have a family pet back, like, you know, with your parents or whatnot?
You know, I don't. I move around too often. My parents, when I was growing up, they moved every 6 months to a year, so
right.
we never really had pets very long. We had a couple cats at some point. But,
yeah.
No pet. I would like them.
Yeah. No, this town is a really big, you know, everybody loves the pets here. You know, I see a lot of people out walking their dogs, and some people walk their cats. I was at the swap meet yesterday, and somebody had their 6-month-old iguana, like lashed onto their shirt, like a necklace or something like that. It was really cool. Their iguana was just totally chill with it. But, you know, this town, you know, is really big into animals. You know, I think that I grew a really big appreciation for cats. Just living in this area, just because I met my girlfriend through here, and a couple people that I knew had some awesome cats that I just, you know, got buddies with, and kind of, you know, opened me up a little more to, you know, just like animals overall in general. But that's why this question is kind of out there. What's your favorite food, and who makes it the best? Like, bottom line, you know.
You know, I realized actually just the other day that when I say food, I intrinsically just mean Mexican food, because that's what I grew up with. So usually if I want to get Chinese food, I have to qualify that Chinese food or pizza or something. But
sure.
if I just say food, it automatically means Mexican food.
Yeah.
I go eat Mexican food probably 90% of the time.
Yeah.
In town, I don't know who makes it the best.
Well, just overall, like, you know, your grandma, you know, who is the one that you're just like, I'll eat it every time?
Well, my grandma, obviously. My abuelita, she makes the greatest quesadillas in the world.
Yeah.
But in town, if I was going to get a burrito, I'd probably go to Tacos Morenos.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good choice. I love those guys. I've been going there for a long time, too.
Good burritos.
Yeah. Yeah, they used to have one up on UCSC, but I think they tore it down and made it into a Rivas or something. It broke my heart when I saw it. The first time I saw it, I was like, I disapprove of this totally. But, you know, it's just a China. changing of the times, things like that.
Rivas makes a good quesadilla too, though.
Yeah, they're all right, but I really was like fond of Taco Domino's. I still am. I still try to go there as much as I can. So for the final question, what would you do for a Klondike bar?
I'd play the shit out of the drums. Why not?
I think that's a pretty good way to earn, a Klondike bar. I personally think.
Burn some calories, and then
that's right.
You get a cheat after.
Put them back on, dude. You put them right back on. Well, so I think that about wraps it up here for our first episode of the Talking Drum. We'll be back next month. I have not picked out what drummer locally that I would like to bring onto the stage, but we'll be back here in about a month's time at the JBQAV stage. See you next time, and take care. The last couple of years, I've been playing with different bands, and I've met people through, sometimes not even playing through music. I met Jesse through a coffee shop that I happened to go by with somebody that I work with, and me and Jesse, we talk a lot of music, and somebody who I was very excited to get on the show. And Jesse, thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So Jesse, just to get start off, what is your background playing drums?
Well, I started in high school,
Right.
and I was doing a lot of jazz, and I actually am still doing a lot of jazz at Cabrillo,
Mhm.
and I don't know, I just joined a band that plays like rock,
Right.
and that's what I've been doing so far.
Is Arrows your first band, or have you played in a couple of other
I was in
bands?
another band, like funky, jazzy, funk jazz band.
Right.
Yeah, and it was my friend's band, and that was fun.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. Who's your maker? Who's currently like their drum set right now? Who is your maker?
Oh, I do a Ludwig,
Uh-huh.
Maple Classic, I think it is.
Right.
It's nice. It's an 18-inch bass drum,
Right.
tiny, but it goes. It's
Oh.
nice.
I have a buddy, John Mama, who I play with in Saturday Sunsets, and he uses a Questlove, was it the breakbeat set?
Quick beats.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
he
it's
really loves that set, and
That's
he's like, I was kind of skeptical about getting it
Me too.
about 2 years ago, and he's shown me that, skepticism, sometimes you need to listen to the skepticism side to yourself. What is your configuration, say like tom-wise? I mean, you got a floor tom. What are you rocking on the racks?
I usually do one rack tom
Mm.
and then one floor tom, and then snare
All right.
and bass drum. And that's pretty much it.
Do you have like a 12, a 10, a 12?
It's snare drum's a 14. The rack tom is a 12.
Nice.
And the floor tom is a 14.
Right on. That's cool. Is there a particular stick that you're really fond of?
I always went for Vic Firth, and then I bought ProMark one time, and I was like, "Dang, these are rad." I think it was just the change it felt different, it felt good.
Right.
But
right.
I think it's ProMark and Vic.
Very cool.
Firth, yeah.
Very cool. Do you have any inspiring drummers, like people that kind of like motivate you, kind of like guys that are just drummers in general that just move you?
Yeah, there's a couple. There's a bunch. There's the jazz drummer Max Roach, obviously very.
Oh
good.
yeah. Oh.
There's what's his name? Horacio Hernandez, El Negro, I think they call him. He's a gnarly Latin player that I really admire. Steve Gadd, of course, and
Oh yeah. My dad.
yeah.
Personal favorite. Dad.
Yeah, he's rad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this new guy named Anderson Paak. He's from Malibu, Los Angeles area. He killed it. He's like a rapper.
Oh, yeah.
He's like drumming. It's the coolest stuff I've ever seen.
so much on the drumming side, you know, a little bit more on the personal side. Nobody really comes and, you know, talks to the drummers. We're busy putting away stuff and, you know, talking to promoters and, you know,
grabbing all the guitars,
drinking too, you know,
getting their amps.
What is your favorite food and who makes it?
Dang. Okay. Obviously, my mother makes awesome. Just everything she makes is good.
Yeah.
But I guess if I had to pinpoint this to one, narrow it down, it would be like enchiladas or something, dude.
Okay.
It's chile verde. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's the stuff right there.
All right. Do you have an animal or like a family pet that you're like super attached to that you're in love with?
No, right now.
No.
But I did have a dog that was pretty rad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like what kind of dog?
It was a Chow Retriever mix. It was great.
Right
I might
on.
get a new dog soon. So
I hope you do, dude. I love dogs personally. I just don't have the space and the resources from me and my girlfriend are pretty content with the fish.
It was so cool because I mean, I don't know, that dog was pretty chill about the drum noise and stuff. It was always kind of like, I felt like it was always like listening.
Right. Okay. So my final question is maybe you can help me out with this. Who let the dogs out?
Who? I can't.
Who let the dogs out?
I can't help you with that.
I
don't.
I think there's more to this than he's saying, but I have to take his word for it. But we're out of time. We thank you for joining us again, JVQAV. Thank you for helping us set this up. And we will be back next month for September's installment. Again, we haven't picked out the drummer, but we will definitely have somebody by that point. Arrows, got anything going?
That's right. Yeah, we do Arrows SC pretty much on everything. So Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud, Bandcamp, Spotify, Apple Music. Check us out. Check these guys out. Check out Saturday Sunsets. That's who I'm currently playing with. I'm also working a bit harder on my EP. I'm hoping to get that out by October. Second track is really close to getting done. Talking with a buddy of mine, Mark London, who also is a cool JVQAV guy. What a guy. Yeah. And he might be helping me out with vocals. We can talk it out. You gotta send me that. Yeah, I definitely will. Oh, yeah. But thank you for watching, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Dave the Drummer Facebook. Do it. Dave the Drummer YouTube. Do it. Peace. Bring in my man JT. JT.
What's up, guys?
Tell them about you, man. Go for it. Tell them who you play with. Tell them your deal.
JT. I play with Little Petie and the Mean Old Men, and that's about it for now.
That's cool. How long have you been playing with Petie and the guys?
Probably about 6, 7, 8 months now.
Cool. Yeah. Now, you've known those guys before you played with them, right?
They're friends of mine. Absolutely, I've known them for quite a while. Yeah.
Did you have any experience in a band format playing with Daryl, who was with you in the rhythm section of Little Petie? Were you guys playing in a band together, or just kind of like jam kind of environment that you guys had felt each other out before?
No, which is it's pretty weird because we click pretty good.
Oh, so. You guys click very well.
Yeah. He's a good bass player, and that's all. That's a big. It's a big plus when you're playing music. You got a good bass player. You got somebody good to follow. It's always
huge Star Wars fan too.
He's a huge Star Wars fan.
I got to guest sub in as a drummer with these guys one time, and I had a killer time playing with Daryl. That guy, he's got his timing down, and he's definitely got the right sound for Petie, and I love seeing Petie. Love metal drummers, right? Any particular metal drummers that you're really fond of?
Richard Christie, Gene Hoglan.
Richard Christie of Howard Stern.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. He's the one of the Death drummers. So yeah, he's awesome. I don't know, all like the Lombardo, all those Mickey D, all like the all the classic guys for sure.
Is there anybody outside of metal that you're just a huge fan of, and it just sort of like maybe has
lended itself a little bit to your playing.
Absolutely. I mean, Josh Freeze I'm really into Josh Freeze.
Vandals
Vandals, Devo.
Play with everybody.
He's a good session guy. Yeah.
Is there anybody in drumming that you would call the best drummer, like hands down? Like somebody you're just like, I could just hear him all day. Because some people are like, I'm a really big Bonham guy. Some people are like, I'm a really big Stuart Copeland guy. I'm really another big. I'm a Bruford guy, so I could listen to his stuff like all day long.
I mean, like on that same note, I mean Danny Carey, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, he just like he just does some really smart stuff, and I mean just whoever's like keeping it fresh, and I mean it's there's always like a lot of good drummers, so it's hard to like pigeonhole and pinpoint the best out of it's just depending on the type of music you're listening to. There's a lot of really good guys that that I love listening to, so that's another hard one.
Yeah. Kit, like what are you using right now currently?
But Tama Stars, I forget what it is. It's Tama. It's a big one. It's like a 22 kick, 12 rack tom, and then like a 16 floor tom. It's a pretty big kit, so it's a pretty loud one.
Right. And you've been using that for?
Yeah, I've had it for quite a while. Yeah. I've had it for about 10 years now. So
let's talk about drumsticks for just a second.
Sure.
What do you have a preferred size? Is there a type of grip that you're really fond of?
I mean, I play 8Ds, so it's a kind of in between a little bit. You can make a loud noise with it, or you can pull it back and play it quiet. So
right,
I like those. I like kind of an in between.
Another color and try to get thinner. Get into the race and try to be a winner. Hurry home from work and try to make a dinner. You know what I'm trying to say. You see, I love you, and I always will. But now I'm going back to California where the weather's getting warmer, and I know the people living there still. Alright. 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 She had a tummy ache, but not a happy one. He said he liked it to call, but she didn't see it that way. He told her anyway, it was a big mistake, cause it was too late. He should have told her yesterday. He had a suitcase and not a practical one. She said she liked it to call, but he didn't see it that way. She told him anyway, it was a big mistake, cause it was too late. She should have told him yesterday. And you can wear another color and try to be thinner. Get into the race and try to be a winner. Hurry home from work and try to make a dinner. You know what I'm trying to say. You say I love you, and I always will. But now I'm going back to California, cause the weather's getting warmer, and I know the people living there still. Alright.
I'm gonna try to get back in the studio and either get a full-length album, or I think that's the main goal, is to get a full-length out. So we'll probably be taking a break from playing shows for the next little bit, but focusing on that going forward. So yeah.
Right on. What's something you're really big into outside of music?
I like to ride my skateboard around.
Well, there you go. See, that's a very Santa Cruz thing. I admit I have a skateboard. I don't really ride it, but I need to at some point. And kind of like surfing, you know. I feel like as a Santa Cruz person, I got to learn how to surf before I get out of here.
I like to do all the typical Santa Cruz things.
Well, you might as well. I'll get the experience.
Yeah, go to the beach, ride the skateboard around. So yeah, you know, just enjoy life.
No, yeah, absolutely. So thank you for joining us over here at the JVQAV stage, Talking Drum, episode 3, taken care of. We are going to be back next month. Thank all my YouTube subscribers and all the people who supported and checked out the videos. And please, you know, feel free to share them. Feel free to go and check out the Facebook artist page, Dave the Drummer 831.
Well, that wraps up this episode of the CTV edition of the Talking Drum. Getting to know these drummers, getting to hang out with them. It's been a blast making this show. So, anyways, we hope that you will join us Friday nights, 8:30, for the Talking Drum with Dave the Drummer. Be sure to subscribe to the Dave the Drummer official YouTube channel for all the newest updates on the Talking Drum, all just what I'm up to. Be sure to check me out on soundcloud.com/Dave the Drummer 831559. Be sure to check me out on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave the Drummer 831. Be sure to check out my official website at pudesuhiro.wixsite.com/Dave the Drummer 831. You can also find me on Instagram, Dave the Drummer 831. Finally, you can find me on Bandcamp as Dave El Baterista, where you'll be able to check out my EP that I put out last year, jazz, fusion, rock, a lot of local musicians on this. We will be back in a couple of weeks with a brand new episode. So until then, Blue Justice.